Millennials are outraged at a boomer's property advice. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee and we're going to have a look at this news.com.au article about millennials or millennial fury over boomer house price advice. Now, I am technically a millennial. I am a geriatric millennial just on the cusp of millennial and the previous generation. So I grew up in an analog childhood, but I was exposed to technology pretty quick. So kind of like the best and worst of both worlds. So let's have a look and see if I agree with the millennials or I agree with the boomers. And let me know your thoughts on this one in the comments below, guys. So that's right, millennials are hitting 40, guys. Millennial fury over boomer house price advice. A retired boomer has sparked outrage for suggesting young people make sacrifices like skipping a new phone to buy a house. That seems perfectly sensible. Maybe I'm a boomer at heart, eh? A retired baby boomer, they give up eating out. Yeah, well, eating out is bloody expensive. It is a huge cost. It is a complete waste of money. Updating their mobile phones so they can afford to buy a home. Yeah, that stuff adds up. This is why I joke about calls for bloody house deposit lockdowns. Okay? Oh, shit, I hope it... I make these jokes and then you know, it becomes real. I don't want Mortgage Keeper to be real. I hate the fact that shared equity is a thing now. Sydney 68-year-old Kerry Boylett claimed it was practically impossible to be approved for a home loan in 95 as a single mum because interest rates were so high. In an interview with the ABC on Monday, she said one lender eventually agreed to loan her the money so she could buy her first home in the Sydney beachside suburb of Coogee for $150,000 with a 15% deposit. However, the former administration general manager for hospitality giant Merivale, a company that's accused of $129 million in wage theft, what the hell's that got to do with this story? It's got nothing to do with this story. Received a $2 million inheritance from founder John Hams in 2015. Okay, so she's not a normal case. She got a $2 million inheritance. She got a property in Sydney for $150,000. 15. Okay, I mean, well, we'd all love a $2 million inheritance, eh? With a variable interest rate of 19% in 95, she said she struggled to make ends meet and once had her electricity cut off because she couldn't pay the bill. She told the publication she didn't go on holiday for 4 years, quit dining out, and bought the cheapest car she could get for $1,000 to make ends meet. I mean, this is all sensible things. You know, holidays are a luxury. Sometimes you can't have to do without them. Sometimes you just have a holiday at home. Okay? There's ways you can live real cheap. It's not the end of the world, guys. I would have dinner parties at my place for my friends. Isn't that normal? Instead of going out. By buying 2 kilos of meat and making a salad and spaghetti bolognese and a cake. And that's how I had friends and entertainment at home, she said. Shit, maybe I'm a boomer. That seems perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with that. What I would suggest is you do it at a park. You go and have a barbecue at the park with friends too. Then it's easy to clean up. It was a struggle for the first 5 years, she added. But it was Miss Boyle's advice for millennials that truly sparked uproar, as she suggested young people give up holidays, nights out, and buy new technology so they can get onto the property ladder. Well, duh, aren't you already doing? If you're saving for a house, you shouldn't be going on holidays. And nights out, it's just a rip-off. You go, what do you do? You go out and you get pissed on booze for how much? Alcohol is just carbs and taxes. Buying new technology. Well, here's the thing. You don't need to upgrade tech as much anymore. It's not like it was in the 90s where they were having leaps in computing power when you went from a 300 megahertz chip to a 1,000 megahertz chip. Now you can have a 5-year-old computer, a 10-year-old computer. It can run everything you need. I upgraded this machine here because I do my YouTubing. And I'm an architect, so I need a high-end, fast rendering machine. But it doesn't mean I throw out my old machines. I'm still using them. And they're still pretty good. I've got a computer with a 1080 in it, and it can render my animations about twice as slow as the other things, but it's still perfectly fine. So, they millennials want, the latest mobile phone, the latest iPad, They want a nice car. They want to go on holidays. They still want to go out to restaurants. They pay $20 to $30 for a drink and have an... I don't go out that much, guys. I mean, I went and bought a 6-pack of Bundy. Not Dark and Stormy, that other one. The lime one. And it was getting up there, like nearly, $30 for a pack? Or maybe, no, more than that. You've got to say, right, am I prepared to keep my phone for 4 years? Am I prepared to cut back? Yeah, I mean, what she's suggesting is nothing shocking. If this is what's shocking people, I don't understand the article. I think they're probably shocked because these savings, well, I guess they'd add up $1,000 a year for a phone, $1,000 a year for an iPad. So, the ABC article noted that she upsized to a home in Balmain, which is worth far more than what houses were worth in the mid-90s. She was just one of 4 beneficiaries to Hem's estimated $800 million fortune and was the only non-family member to receive a slice. Yeah, that's got nothing to do with the advice that she's saying. Okay? She got lucky. Okay? She got real lucky. Good on her. Maryvale CEO Justin Hims, son of John, meanwhile faces a class action brought forth by former employee. Yeah, okay, he's still unpaid wages. What's that got to do with the advice? It's got nothing to do with the advice. These things are different. You know, the parties are in mediation with the case. Yeah, I don't care about that. Should Mr. Hems agree to pay out the maximum claim of $129 million? Yeah, okay, cool. You know, dodgy business. We'll have to see what happens. Ms. Boyle's housing advice provoked fury on social media as younger Aussies struggled to break into the market. In 95, the median house price was 6.7 times higher than the median single income. In 2022, it was 16.5 times more. Well, yeah, times change. Times change. Sydney, inner city Sydney, isn't for normal people anymore. It's Australia's changed now. Maybe people should think about all the shit they're voting for that's resulted in this over the last few decades. The median price for a house in Coogee, where Miss Boyle bought her first home for $150,000, has soared to a staggering $3.7 million. Units sell for an average of $1.3 million. My heart is now in pieces for this woman who struggled for a whole 5 years in the 90s after buying a home for $150,000 with 19% interest rates. Journalist and author Amy Ramikis tweeted, "She's absolutely right. My phone is the reason I can't afford to buy, and not that home's for $1 million. Well, you don't buy a $1 million home, you stupid idiot. You get something cheaper. Okay? You don't buy the $1 million home. You move a bit further out. Maybe you're not going to afford to live in Sydney. Maybe you buy some shit box in the western suburbs and you save. Reader slammed the publication for unhelpful advice. Oh, it's just to get outraged. It's gotten me outraged, gotten me angry. Another one of these completely naff articles. She borrowed what amounts to a credit card. $150,000 is not a credit card today. If you think that's a credit card today, you're a complete and utter idiot. Okay? Oh, ABC, Facebook. Okay, they're a complete and utter idiot. There you go. She's absolutely no chance in today's market, one user commented. You know, she would. She'd probably get a 2% bloody home loan these days, a single mum. Please stop headlining these comparisons. They're unhelpful and invite this simplistic smugness of, if I can do it, anyone can, another said. Context is at least as significant as effort. Hardship isn't a competition. Yes, it is. This is the victim world nowadays. Yeah, I'll take 90% interest on $100,000 a home over 8% on a $1 million mortgage on the same house any day, wrote a third. Most experts agreed that home ownership is increasingly out of reach. It's a supply issue, that's what it is. The AMP Capital chief economist Shane Oliver previously told Yahoo Media, if the 17% interest rate of the 90s applied today, it will be a disaster for the property market. Mortgages are significantly larger and houses pricier, while loan recipients are permitted to borrow a greater amount relative to income. In fact, almost 1 in 4 new mortgages is considered risky, according to the Australian Prudential Regulation Authority. Meanwhile, an unsustainably tight market means even renting Aussies are caught between high prices and low affordability, pushing some on low incomes towards homelessness. And they've reached out to her for comments. Well, let's have a talk about this one. Well, I'm definitely leaning more towards the boomer's advice. The author here, Chloe, obviously painted a picture to try and bring all of these unrelated issues with her workplace and the inheritance she received to the advice. It's got nothing to do with the advice. Okay? The advice is sacrifice now to reap the benefits in the future. And fundamentally, that's what you have to do. And it's going to suck. It's not going to be as easy in the past. But I tell you what, I would rather live now with the access to information and knowledge than during the boomer times. Because, okay, houses cost a shitload more, yeah, but I'm not going to die of bloody diabetes at 60 or 70 years old like half of them will. And I'm not going to get Alzheimer's because I know what to eat. I know that all the government health guidelines is bullshit. They don't. They got no idea. I don't know, guys. What do you reckon? Are the boomers right? Did they have it tough? Or are the millennials just a bunch of whingy little prats? Or, is it just different and harder? I don't know. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on this one. It's gotten me upset. You don't buy $1 million house for your first house. What's wrong with these people? Check out my other channels, Heise BIM and Heise Does. And you can support us financially on YouTube or Patreon. Use our referral links, buy our pocket squares, or call us if you need an architect. And, well, if you're saving for a house deposit, you shouldn't be supporting anyone on YouTube, guys, okay? That's a luxury. It's like a new phone. Put it off for 5 years. Anyway, take care, guys. Have a great day. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.